and you say, oh, the team is having a meeting, go to the team and have a meeting. And I don't understand. I'm like, I'm not working for this company. Why am I going to a meeting, you know?
And I said to the team, put this kid through the test and tell me how he does at the end of it. Like, is there anything there? Mm-hmm. And luckily for you, you got good marks with that.
Yeah. They cannot have an ego and come here or wherever and expect the respect at first, but they'll need to earn it by serving, by supporting, by being the reliable guy, by being loyal to the cause. And then they'll earn it and everybody will support them at some point as it goes up.
Greetings and welcome to Just Speak, the Shaun podcast. This one is episode 9 already, and I just popped on here a little bit, doing it differently today, and trying to talk about a few things that have just been on my mind. And as this journey into the podcasting world has continued, just where we're at, really, and 9 episodes, which means that there's been 8 previous episodes where we've brought you a variety of voices, a variety of stories and perspectives. And I really hope that those of you that watched it, that you found some sort of value in it. I want to really start off by saying thank you. Thank you to the 70 odd of you that have subscribed to the YouTube channel and that get notified every time we drop a new episode. Thank you to the few hundred of you on the odd episodes that have watched on YouTube, to sometimes even thousands of views that have been on the odd clip on social media. And so to every person, whether you've watched a little 30-seconder or the whole episode, I want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting and backing the start of something new, something unknown, and to see where it goes. And so we're really glad that you came on this journey with us so far. And, just want to be showing gratitude for that. Also want to express heartfelt thanks to each and every person that trusted me with their story, trusted me and gave me their time to come out here and to sit down and to really put together this podcast and what it's becoming. It's really been an evolution, and something that I embraced from the beginning going into this is that we weren't going to pretend to know it all and to be perfect. You would have noticed, if you did, that even the studio itself has had little tweaks, little changes, things that are there one week and not there the next week on the set or such. And all that's been very intentional. We're really just feeling the vibe and trying to see what makes sense, what fits, what doesn't. And if it works, it stays. If it doesn't, it goes. And simple as that. We're not in any kind of formula, and we're not prescriptive in that way. And I really hope that, if you've seen that and you appreciate that, you're kind of watching us grow in real time. And that's one of the guests, actually, I think it was Mona Reng, that said, we're fixing this thing as we fly it. And that's been, really true. And truer words have not been spoken, because we kind of just launched and we said, let's go. And every single week in and week out, we've, or guest for guest, we have just made decisions and changed it. And I suppose if you're watching and if you are interested in what we're doing, your feedback matters. And so even now, in addition to gratitude, I invite your feedback, your review. What have you thought? How have we been doing? What can we do better? Is there anything that you would like to hear that we can maybe think about and look for guests that match that? So it's really just a community effort that we're trying to develop. And even though we want reach, we certainly value the humble, small start that we've had and that we're trying to build on. All right. So thank you to you, the viewer. Thank you to our guest. And we really appreciate everybody that has touched this and made it what it's become and where it's going. The other thing that I want to say is that we are taking a pause real soon. We may or may not do one or 2 more episodes, depending on the guest availability of some of the people we've reached out to. But we've also decided to, being TV people, call it season 1. We decided that we don't want to rush and just keep bringing new episodes and keeping some sort of schedule while we haven't fully, reached and impacted with the episodes we do have. So in learning and in doing this in real time, we decided let's take a small pause and reflect on what we've done and how we're feeling about it, and really just take the numbers and the people that have been reached with these episodes and try to see how much further we can push that. So we're really trying to learn on the job the things inside of social media and how to get a message to go wider than we already have. So we've made that decision that we're not going to rush and add too many more new recordings. We will, should guests avail themselves and the opportunity present. But while we reach out to new people and all of that, we'll use this time to just really tighten things up. So if we don't have a new episode lined up after this, that's why. All right, we are going to just take our foot off the gas a little bit and see how best. So we might start just recycling some of the old stuff, cutting it differently, putting it into different spaces, trying new platforms that we maybe haven't considered yet. So really just a complete audit and assessment of where we're at. Let's try to consult some experts as well and see what we're doing right and wrong in this world of social media. So there again, if you are the kind of person that knows about these things, you've got some ideas you want to throw at us, we are not, we don't pretend to know everything. And so we certainly welcome any thoughts that you might have. And another thing that's happening, it's a little bit of an announcement, if you will. You would have heard this name. You would have probably seen him on camera in some of our content, whatever. I want to introduce you to a young man, just give him the platform a little bit and just really introduce you to him a little bit more, let's say formally, and let you get to know him a little bit. But also because for a host of reasons, our journey together is coming to an end. Or to a different, if you look at life and if you look at business and careers as like a highway, there's off ramps and on ramps, right? And sometimes you get off at an off ramp and sometimes you get on at another one. And that's how it all works. And so this person has been with me for a number of years and has been extremely loyal, extremely value-adding, has helped me build this podcast, if anything, and much of the broader business as well. Has really been a key member of the team, but the time has come that he is going to be spreading his wings a little bit wider, and we'll talk a little bit with him about it. But yeah, so just as the industries and different things evolve and change and meet challenges and pivot, these are things that we have to do, and unfortunately, sadly even, this is one of the things we're announcing today. And I just use this opportunity to, just extend the platform to him. And hopefully, definitely not the last time we will work together, and certainly, much bigger things to come from him. So very quickly, he's standing by literally, as he does, as is his posture in the world that he supports me in. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome young man Phorell Matsebe, who will join me for a quick chat.
Interesting, Shaun. How are you?
Welcome.
This is very nice.
Hey, sitting on the other side of the mic.
Yeah, I'm always sitting on the other side of the studio. And today they get to see the face and put the name to it.
So there he is. This is Phorell. Full name?
Phorell Matsebe.
There we go. You see, he's got this traditional name. But I don't know. Did you name yourself after Phorell Williams?
Yeah. Actually, I was making music in the past, and I was thinking of the coolest name. And I used to be Phorell Synergy. Phorell Synergy, I mean. I used to be Phorell Synergy. And as time went, then I tapped into film industry. But the first guy I met who helped me get to Joburg, I introduced myself as Phorell. And now when I was tapping into film industry, he took me to this production company called Velocity Films and introduced me as Phorell. And everybody started calling me Phorell. And then it got to a point where Phorell now became my identity. And if you asked anybody else who's Talifang, they'd look at you, who are you talking about? But if you said Phorell, they'd know who you're talking about. So Phorell then became a brand name for what we do in this industry.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Brand name. I like it. So like I was explaining in setting you up to come here, I mean, we've had an interesting journey. We've had a story, and I think our story currently just reflects many things. Yes. It reflects the challenges that is being faced around the industry, and I think the industry around the world.
Yes.
And I think when it comes to your particular role and your journey here, I think it's also become a little bit restrictive in a way.
Yes.
And in many ways, when we sat down and we talked about, you moving on to seek out more opportunities and different things, it's really about helping you grow more.
Yes.
And maybe to some extent, your time here reached a bit of a ceiling.
Yes.
And so one of the things I really thought would be valuable, and for us to use this episode and this opportunity to explore, is this idea that, someone works somewhere, and they are in a job and in a role and whatever. And whenever people get ready to leave, there's always like a negative energy around that.
Yeah.
People sometimes leave quietly, or they leave suddenly, or they seek out these other, go for interviews or whatever, and they're doing it all under the radar.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that if one is feeling like a time and a season has come to an end in a certain role in a space, seeking out that new thing need not be like a major state secret. It can be something that you embrace.
Yeah.
And we've worked really well in finding you the new opportunities, in utilizing our network to set you up into the future. And to also just say that your time here is not over.
Yes.
It's just changing call signs, and just being reframed a little bit. But before we get into all of that, let's take our story back a little bit.
All right.
So when I first met you, you first reached out on Instagram.
That was LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Was it LinkedIn? Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yes.
I'm remembering Instagram, but so be it.
Yeah.
But if anything, you used like the cold call as you get, right? You didn't come via a referral. You didn't come through. You found me online.
Yes.
Whatever you saw that you wanted to chase, and you chased it. And I think it demonstrates the power of social media, the power of these platforms that are out there that people can pursue. And you're an example of someone that managed to do that successfully.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what that looked like when you first were, because you were still in varsity at the time, and you were trying to set up your first thing that you would do coming out of varsity.
Yeah. So as it was my final year, I come from Northwest Province, where film and television is not a thing there. So it's kind of like if you are in the university, you kind of have to set yourself up ahead of time to know what happens to you after the year where you graduate. So that year I was looking for a whole bunch of opportunities, and I spent at least 2 years before trying to put up a show reel. Now I've made a whole bunch of show reels in the past, and I used to send them through different people, different studios via email. And I could not get anything until time came during my final year 2021, and I reached out to you at LinkedIn. Then you shared me your number. Our conversation was that because you were already working on Soweto Blaze, that was the domestic. I was supposed to come on your set. Actually, a year before that, I met you. I actually spoke to you in 2020 when you were working on the domestic. And then after you gave me your number at LinkedIn, we spoke a bit on WhatsApp. And then lockdown hit. And then you went on and shot the whole production. I had went home for lockdown. And then in 2021, I had just finished my show reel.
Yeah.
Then I shared with you my show reel, wanting your approval to say, what do you think about this show reel? What can I improve? But something different happened. You saw the show reel and you said, dude, this is great. Please come meet me tomorrow at Central offices in Pretoria. That's how our story began. So today, the following day, I woke up there. I think I got in there like 6 a.m. in the morning.
Way too early.
Yeah, way too early. I think the team was only coming at 9.
Yeah.
And I waited there, and everybody came. Then we did the shoot we came there to do. And I remember very vividly after that session, you were like to me, yeah, man, I liked how you came and supported the team doing this. And obviously, I had spoken to you about the opportunities of the things that I want to learn through you, through SNO Creations. And you said, right now, I don't have anything job-wise that I can provide you, but I'm willing to have a conversation next year. It was already the end of the year that time to say, next year, we can talk and we proceed with that conversation. Okay. Then 2022 comes January. We set up a meeting, and in my mind, we're going to talk about how I'm going to learn editing and color grading through you and all the support you can give. So I catch a ride from Rembek Square, Rembek Taxi Rank to your spot. And when I get there, I sit down with you. The first thing I remember you did that day, you were like to me, you were busy with some guys working on a construction. And you say, oh, the team is having a meeting, go to the team and have a meeting. And I don't understand. I'm like, I'm not working for this company. Why am I going to a meeting, you know? So I get to the meeting, I sit down with the guys, and they just talking about this show that you guys were working on, and they want my opinion on it. I'm like, what would I say? Like, this is all new to me, right? Eventually you finish and you invite me to your office, and Shaun Naidu just kind of offers me the job on the spot. You know, now I've done a really good groundwork a year before, saving money for rent for at least for 3 months while I look for a job. And there we are, January, I'm getting a job through Shaun Naidu. So that's how it started with us, and then it just took off from there.
Yeah, I also remember, because we were doing some crazy stuff at the time. We always had like these, like, besides the client work and that type of thing, we were always trying to cook something on the side, you know. And I remember the first time you come on a shoot with us, and we were doing red carpet ready. And I was trying to get fit, and it was all about fitness. And you just had to hustle with that camera. We went on a hike. And I think there's even footage of you just running back and forth, trying to get in front of the team so you can catch this angle and then get behind the team and catch that angle. And you really like hustled and grind that day, and your fitness was tested. But you jumped right in, and you know, I think, like I said again, the value of this conversation and why we decided let's have it is that there are a lot of young people that obviously reach out to me, and you know, be it on social media, be it on email, whatever the case is. But constantly the industry through places like AFTA and whatnot is having these young people being fed in, and they're all looking for opportunities, and they go to everyone, especially if you've got a reputation for opening the door and letting people in. But oftentimes they don't know what the hustle requires, and they certainly don't know, and they don't do themselves any favors by not being prepared and whatever. And the story you were telling about, like, the first day, I call it a working interview, right? And the way that works in my mind is that you can tell me a whole lot of stuff that you are capable of doing,
Yes.
or you can show me, right?
Yes, yes.
And so you were willing to come in and to just get right in it. And I remember I just said, go with the team. And I said to the team, put this kid through the test and tell me how he does at the end of it.
Yes,
Like, is there anything there? And luckily for you, you got good marks with that.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the story of coming over to the spot the first time and meeting the guys that were there and whatever. It's really just about getting into it. And what was really interesting with you is that your level of preparedness, even though you weren't like briefed to be prepared.
Yes.
You just were able to adapt and get on with it.
Yes.
And I think that's what stuck.
Yeah.
That's what really struck me. And throughout the years you've been here, that level of proactive, innovative, seeking solutions, always coming to me with solutions rather than problems, having done some version of research and figured something out. So you come and tell me there's a problem, but I've made research and these are what I believe to be the solutions. And young people need to understand that's what we're looking for. That's what employers want. They don't want you to come there and be a give me kind of guy and a burden to them. They want you to be a value add. They want you to be a solution to problems and weaknesses and areas of their business that needs to be filled. Yeah. So in the time you've been here, is there anything that about our approach? Because I remember you started as an intern. You managed to impress enough through that internship and those opportunities and get into an actual, more stable and permanent role. And you've grown. You've grown over the few years. Your levels have changed. Your responsibilities have changed. What about the journey at SNO would you say, like, you'd want a young person watching this and trying to take notes on how to hustle into the game?
Oh, that's a very interesting one. And I'll be honest, I don't think it starts from when you walk into a company. I think it kind of starts from, let's say this person is in the university. They kind of have to be prepared in a sense that whatever they do there, if it means them trying to sharpen their skill, it could be the lessons in class or the project that they do at school as assignments, or maybe just some stuff that you have to do in a school level. You kind of always have to prepare yourself that if you walked in a company and they gave you the opportunity to come and sit or spend a week there, you don't necessarily have to be blank and not know some of the things. At least try your best to know the basics and let everybody advance you. So me coming here, I think I had done the basic. I was on like a basic skill level. I did not have structure of how this thing is done on a professional level. And when I came here, it was more about plug. You were just plugging things in the right places and making sure that I developed that structure, I developed that eye. And because I also knew I cannot fuck up, I kind of made it a point that I know that you rely a lot on me, on that task in particular. And if anything, you need to come and just polish on what I have started, And my journey here in particular, I think because I just got introduced to a lot of people that had been working in the industry for so long, and everybody was kind of an expert at what they specialize on. And here you are, you're giving me color grading and editing role, and everybody expects these edits to be great, these colors to be awesome. And I knew right then I cannot disappoint the team, and I have to learn faster so that I can match what they're capable of doing on other departments, so that at least my departments can be a department in a situation where if things went wrong at some point, we can be able to fix it there. They call it fix it in post. And I'm also glad. I don't think that journey was all that. There was also Edwin that you provided me with. And Edwin has this background of TV for 8 years at a time, working at Red Pepper. And he had worked with editors, he had worked with colorists, he's been well experienced in this field. So he held my hand throughout the process and just kept me going. And I actually learned a lot through that time. And I'll be honest, I was a bit heartbroken when he got his intern and he started focusing more on his intern. And then I'm left alone. And then I felt like, shit, I don't have that support anymore. But has he done enough to let me take this ride by myself? Yes, he did. But it was always that support that I've always had with you guys, and you guided me through everything. So it was, I think for me, it wasn't easy, but it was efficient enough for me to learn faster, because I knew that these are the things that I can do, and if I need this, I'll get the support. And then more than anything, I think it got to a point where I was driven to start things on my own, because you allowed that freedom. You said, you want to play with DaVinci Resolve, you want to explore all these things, take your laptop home and learn overnight and see what you bring tomorrow. And that's how it all worked for us and for me.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think, what's really interesting about what you say, like the other members of the team that add that value, there's always people in those roles that are willing to help.
Yes.
And I found this industry-wide, whether it was on the crew level, we shot the domestic with mostly student assistants. And so we had heads of departments, and those heads of departments had to really hustle to work with students.
Yeah.
And the film got done well.
Yeah.
And that was because the hunger of students will always be there, and the willingness of the team and the leadership to help. And if young people could always understand that, which is why for me, what was always important, and you've been a beneficiary of that as have many other people, is access.
Yes.
The provision of access. I, 20 years later in this industry, barely lift a camera myself or, need to.
Yeah.
And the technical is not my department as such, right? And it doesn't need to be, because these other people have, the skills and the ability to do that. And when it comes to, people knocking at my door and saying, we want in, all I'm providing really is access.
It's access.
You came into this thing and very quickly found yourself in rooms that you might not have been in so soon. You found yourself on projects, serving a role that you might not have been on.
Yes.
And, even when you were at intern level, I was pushing you beyond, and you held it down. You managed that pressure well. And I remember, and I'll tell this story quickly, that you took on the full editing function of a major TV commercial.
Yes.
When you worked with Moteo. And that was like a real test of how you would be under pressure.
Yes.
And I think I thought you did well. I know Moteo agreed and endorsed your ability. How did you find just that sudden, so soon in the game, and now you're point editor on a whole TV commercial?
I'll be honest, you've always set higher standards, and I knew that day would come. So with every project we worked prior to that, I knew it was always the preparation for that. And now when you suddenly came and said, Phorell, we're going to be shooting this commercial soon, and initially it was not necessarily that I'll be the main editor. Or actually, you put me as a main editor, but you said if anything went wrong, you'll find me a senior support for that commercial. Now, I'm stepping in this role. I see Mateo, large experience all across the world, and he's done so many great things. And he's working with so many great people in this job. And here I am, this kid, this commercial is being handed over to me. It means I have to carry the vision from from agency to production and to the finishing side of it. And I'll be honest, because it was such a intricate and challenging commercial, I spent a lot of time reading the brief, word by word, repeating it. I knew it by heart, checked references, looked at the director's references, even went on the internet and watched generally how people do commercials. And I looked at that, and then I came back and I thought, let me see what I will do. And I remember my first cut, version 1, it was quite terrible. I did not share it with any of you. I moved to version 2, version 3. It was still not getting there. Only when I got to version 4 of that commercial, that's when you started seeing things. And that's when you guys started building from there and say, no, lose this, lose that. But just that whole experience was so different. Besides me sitting on a table and cutting, I was suddenly sitting in rooms with major people, major players in the game, like the colorists, the guys at that did CGI for us. What's the company's name?
Digital Union.
Digital Union. There I am at Digital Union, and I'm working with one of their greatest people in the house, and we are having this conversation like I've been doing this for 10 years. You know, I'm saying, and they give me the same respect as well. You know, as much as I'm like, so yeah, this is great and all, but I was getting that respect. And I think that opportunity is not the opportunity that many people get in life. And I think that was like a turning chapter for me into the company. I don't think we were even 2 years in, if I remember correctly. We could have been like 18 months or so. And yeah, challenging experience, but it also brought somebody different in me after that whole experience, because it made me believe so much in what I can do or what I'm capable of, you know. I've been in situations where I'm studying an offline and that thing looks scary to put together. But I've always known, because of that commercial, I'm like, I've done something worse than this. I've dealt with something worse than this. This I can do. And I've always came out on top with that mindset. So I don't know if I'm answering your question or I'm hitting the marks that you wanted.
No, you are. And I mean, I remember when you kind of went from like something as simple, but as short as a commercial, like a minute timeline.
Yes.
To suddenly tackling 25 year, which was like I think one of the more mammoth tasks that we had taken, because also like very used to the short form world of these commercials being 30 seconds and 60 seconds or whatever, and suddenly I think that timeline went to over 25 minutes, so even longer, if I'm remembering correctly,
48,
and it was a whole double
38 minutes.
And it was like, because it was a documentary, and it was 25 years of the client's existence, and multiple everything you imagine a documentary to be, right? Like interviews and B-roll footage and archive stuff and that entire thing. And you kind of like, all this growth was being sort of like pushed to the limits when projects like those came along. But what's interesting also, and I want you to comment about how it feels. You mentioned like being in these rooms with like, other suppliers and companies that collaborate with us, and them having respect, and showing respect. And I think, being younger, being green a little bit and fresh, and, still up and coming in the game. How important is respect from people like that downward, if you want to say it that way, right? Because you're seeing your levels and you're feeling like I'm just here and they're there, and yet they're respecting me. What does that do for your motivation? Because I think there's two things that I want to see here. Number one is to young people, understanding how much these things can motivate and can push you, but also to the employers and to the senior people that might catch it, and to understand how much them treating somebody else with that respect and with that time, seeing them, how much that really makes a difference and can destroy if you don't do it that way. How did that feel?
I want to start by saying, unfortunately, in this industry, you earn respect. And if you are the guy working at the bottom, looking up to someone senior or somebody who's done this over 20 years, these people have already seen a lot, they've done a lot, and they know who will make it or not. This is what you usually call the Thanos snap, you know?
Yeah.
You either become the 50% that made it and the 50% that vanished or that didn't make it. So the respect that I got from these guys, I think I earned it first by putting my head down, doing the work, making sure that what I've done is not questionable, and if it is questionable, it's all for a constructive intention. And now, I did not look at myself as somebody who has to be respected for what I've done, because here I'm sitting in the room with somebody who has done this for 20 years. So all I need is, okay, if they think this is cool, then I get the gratification to know that I'm doing something right. But getting that respect, it has done so much for my confidence. I think I started looking at things in a different perspective from that point, to say that if somebody like Sam from Digital Union would give me that respect, it kind of goes to show that this is how far I can push the boundaries. That yes, I am this guy, but definitely this guy thinks I'm this guy. And they always say fake it until you make it. So I tried my best to become what these people see. What these people, because I think more than anything, they see potential. So that potential, I have to satisfy the levels to it. But yeah, from a respect point of view, I think getting it is more, for me, it was more about building my confidence. But I think it doesn't come if you do not show your senior people that kind of challenge to say you have to respect this, or they have to consider respecting what you can do. So also, man, it's what we do. I think we serve in our industry. I think for you to be the great leader, you need to serve first. And because when you serve, you get to learn how the higher ups are doing it, how they do it better, how they make it differently, and somehow you try to mimic what they do, even if at the same time you find in your own voice. And them noticing everything that they have built, but you using the same skills in your own voice, then it earns you that kind of respect as well. So for somebody who still coming up, probably watching this podcast today and thinking this is what I aspire to be, they need to know they cannot have an ego and come here or wherever and expect the respect at first, but they'll need to earn it by serving, by supporting, by being the reliable guy, by being loyal to the cause. And then they'll earn it, and everybody will support them at some point as it goes up. Yeah.
Cut that. That's a moment right there in the conversation. I mean, I really hope young people would catch that, because we're constantly trying to cultivate talent in the space, and oftentimes it's just lost on attitude. It's lost on willingness. It's lost on just people being entitled.
Yes.
And if people, and young people especially, can get that these are the things we're paying attention to far more than your abilities, because your abilities we can teach.
Yes.
We can show you how a thing works. There's textbooks for that. There's YouTube videos for that. There's tutorials for that.
Yes.
But I can't teach you how to be respectful.
Yes.
I can't teach you work ethic. These are things that you sort of innately have to have, and you need to cultivate in yourself.
Yeah.
And so, to any young person seeking out opportunities, these are the messages we're trying to really give.
Yeah.
I mean, you started editing and then you went on to color grading, and obviously we provided the resources to do that, got the right kind of toys in house, SNO and toys go hand in hand, so that whenever you tasked with doing a job, you have what you need to get it done.
Yes.
What have you found yourself enjoying more, editing or color grading?
So I've always been the editor at first, but I kind of always been somebody who wanted to know how everything works and connects. And at the time, I don't know if it's still the same today, color grading is a rare skill in film industry. I don't think we have as much colorists as we got editors, or maybe other departments in particular. And I've always been obsessed with this, how these guys get this color so perfect, you know. And when I took on a journey of editing, I think the groundwork that we have done moved very quickly, that assembling a timeline would be something that is less stressful than figuring out different color spaces on DaVinci Resolve on a grading side of things, or learning how color space works, knowing which maybe medium are you delivering for, how the exports work, how to get the perfect skin tones, and all that. It was such a complicated process. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm a professional now, like the way people would think in this one. I think I still have a lot of work to put, and I'm gonna move forward carrying this until what we do, you never stop learning.
Yeah, and I think that's why I was saying even earlier about the idea that you're leaving us right now and going to the new opportunities that await you is really, breaking through the ceiling that you might have reached here.
Yes.
And it's back to access as well. There are certain projects, there are certain types of projects that the new place would have access to that would expose you to those kind of things. And so you'll be sitting with senior colorists and people that we've already, and I mean, a big part of why you're getting the gig is because of the mentorship and the exploitation of that network person that, has enabled one door to close and the other to open in that way. So now you're going to have like more regular access to them and you're going to be able to grow. And, again, it's important to embrace that these are the opportunities that wouldn't be available to you if you sat with your head buried in the sand here and didn't go. And it's very fascinating. I mean, we've been talking now on and off for a while about and preparing you for your exit, I think, is what I've been trying to do. I took you fresh out of university and your first job has been here, and everything that you got to experience between the many team members at different departments that we've had, and some of the reporting structures that changed over time. And yet I will go so far as saying that no matter how much you've had people and departments that you worked within and you've seen the operation be what it is, I don't think we've touched the surface of what you're going to experience at the next place.
Correct.
And so a big part of the preparation has been, it's like I'm releasing a child into the world now to go and be a man.
The big bad world.
And don't embarrass me kind of thing. Like, you're carrying the Shaun Naidu developed brand, going forward. That if you touched this place, that what do we represent? Excellence. No excuses.
No excuses.
And so I really appreciate the fact that we are even. I mean, welcome to the new world. Exit interview, ladies and gentlemen. In the world of jobs and HR, I think there's a thing called exit interviews where you go sit and you leaving the company and you're doing welcome to the 21st century version of it. You get on a podcast with your boss and you talk about your journey.
Chop it up.
But again, nothing we've ever done, and you've known this about me from the time you got here. Is that we always want to have an impact. We always want to touch lives. We always want to have our stories
Yes.
matter in how it will aid the next person's story
Yes.
to become better.
Yes.
And there we are. We're sitting down and talking about all of it on a podcast,
Yes.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I really hope that you have found your time at SNO to be valuable.
Yes.
I hope you've learned more than just the job. I hope you've learned some of the other things we try to teach.
Yes.
Integrity.
Yes. Yes.
Loyalty you've shown in spades full. So, and I think, yeah, just even on a public platform, to be able to use the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for walking this road with me. Thank you for lending your talent, lending your light to my hustle and the things that I do, and for really sticking with me even through some very tough times. And like I've said, and if there's anything you know about me, I don't say things for just to say it. I mean it. That
Your word is your bond.
there's always, as long as SNO exists, as long as we're still in this game and in this fight,
Yes.
there will always be a role for you here.
Yes.
And that even though the next steps sees you walking away from us, that the bridge is still strong.
Yes.
And that there's always a road
Thank you.
back.
Thank you. I think we've done a pretty good job. I don't think you find it everywhere else. I hope we find it more in our industry. But I actually have a great relationship with my boss. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people understand this, that the reason why we wake up and get excited to come to work is because this industry allows us to be really happy about the job before everything else that comes with it. I think because we're doing what we love, it even allows things to go as far as having a relationship with your boss. I've had other people in different industries that work in opposite industries or other industries give a whole different experience about their boss. And I'm just like, what do you mean? I have a great relationship with my boss. Sometimes on a Friday when I'm done doing my job, he'll say, have a beer, man. You've been working hard the whole week. You know what I'm saying? So that ties back to my experience here. Yeah, we've always known that it's about work more than anything, but the environment has been so great as well. It has been so allowing, and it's been green for us. I think we had very beautiful seasons, and not even once have I questioned my place here. And all I ever knew was always that, how far can I cement my place here? Even though I'm living now, it was never even something that was like, oh, I have to. I've always known that I'm safe here, but unfortunately, as we know, I have to spread my wings. I have to go try other things in the world. But yeah, I also want to thank you for making this environment possible, not just for me, but for everybody who's ever been here. I think they can all attest to this. Different experiences for different people, but the environment was the only thing that was common for the rest of us. And I hope even for everybody that went to different places looking for different opportunities, whatever they learned here allows them the opportunity to be great further. And just in the same way, whatever that I've learned here, it will do the same for me. And for that, Shaun, I'll give it to you and say you've done it. You've done it so well, and I don't think many people knows this, or some people realize this. But you are one guy that you use your heart for people because you see the value in people. You invest in people, and you care about the future of people, not just your own, but the future of the people. And you having that heart allows you to immerse yourself possibly into places in their lives that career-wise allows them to grow, allows them to reach newer heights. And it just depends on who like, how do I receive what you give me, and how do I use it? Like, with great power comes a
Great responsibility.
great responsibility. So I thank you for all these amazing years. We've done so much beautiful work together, and we've done a lot of great things. And I think here I found my place to be a professional that I was always praying I would be at the varsity level. And for all these years that I've done internships through different companies. I remember when I got here, I told them I did like 7 internships before I got here, and the team was calling me a senior intern. But yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for just everything, man. And really, there you have it. I mean, literally, this is what we sort of stand for. That's what we represent. And again, as I started out saying, this whole thing is really one giant review on our part, because we want to put things into the world that make a difference, that add value, that impacts lives, if not changes them. And the way we do that is in people, through people, and for people. And there we just wanted to share a little bit of an example of just one young person who came in green, young, fresh, out of school, managed to use an opportunity, and is now ready to take on the world and hopefully conquer it and to grow in leaps and bounds.
Yes.
So thank you again for your time. I hope even this little intimate conversation that we've just had has brought some value to you. If you are student type watching us, that you learned something that you will use. Don't flood my inbox with requests. But, and yeah, if you're an employer or anybody in a position of privilege to do this, to open doors, to welcome young talent, I hope that you've seen just what it means to the people that get those opportunities, and that you'd use your influence to do more. All right. So thank you. This has been another one of Just Speak, the Shaun Naidu podcast. And yeah, watch our socials for announcements and developments as to how we go forward. Like I said, if the guest is ready, we might just jump on and do another one. Otherwise, we're in a little bit of a pause between seasons. Take care.